Welcome to Iconic TV. We are doing a series right now, and this series is all about how you can build a seven-figure year. Maybe you don't even have that in your uh, view yet. Maybe you're thinking, kind of gave up on that. Well, we want to tell you it's a little different now, okay? And what we find is that most businesses are sort of using duct tape as a disguise for a strategy, and it really isn't. And what happens is they might look polished, they might look professional, they could look like all those strategies would work. But the moment you try to scale them, that's when they collapse. Not because it's not good, not because you're not good enough or working hard enough, if that's you, but because the model itself was never just designed for that. And so sometimes you're trying to build something, you're trying to scale something which doesn't have the capability of actually scaling. And when that happens, it can be very frustrating to think, well, I put all this work into it. I tried everything and it's still not working. And you feel like you have to throw everything away and start all over again. Well, today I'm going to show you the hybrid model that's used by the elite advisors, including our company and all of our advisors. And this is the model that gives you the authority, the leverage without being on that hamster wheel. And if your business has ever felt like guesswork, well, this episode is going to feel like oxygen for you. So, if you're ready, I want to welcome you to week 2 of our 12-week series. And we are architecting intelligence. We're giving you a smarter way to look at your business. There's artificial intelligence, but this is the real intelligence of what we bring to the table. And last week, we built the foundation with the seven-figure equation. We talked about the math, the numbers that you need to do. Today, what we're going to do is dive deeper into the architecture of your business model. Because here is the truth. Most business models are not a strategy. They're a wish and a hope and a dream, but they're really not taking you to where you need to go. And what we want to do is give you a viable strategy that you can actually start using. So let's go ahead and dive into the strategy and what we're talking about today. I think you're going to love this. And guess what? This is not just a 12-week series where we're showing you how do you build a 12-month, seven-figure year. We're condensing it into these 12 weeks. And then what we're going to do is give you an extra tool, extra bonuses along the way so that you can have faster trajectory and momentum, and you can really make your business take off and not have to wait for a whole year to learn everything or 12 weeks. All right. Does that sound great to you? If it does, put down below that you are up for a seven-figure year because we want to do this. This is our specialty at Iconic Business Advisors, is taking businesses from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less without any of that stress or the struggle or the overwhelm that you might have been going through and the sacrifice of just not seeing your family, your friends, doing the things that you want to do because you can't seem to step away from your business. And if that's what you've been experiencing, this is going to be a real eye-opener to you. Now, I'm talking from I want you to see how we build seven-figure businesses as a consulting firm and how we show our consultants to do it. But if you are a business owner and you're trying to figure out how do I do this for my business, you might have tried different consultants, some are coaches, who knows, maybe some mentors, but did it take you all the way there? Or did it just kind of get you started and then you were floundering and had to figure it out? So this could also be for you, if you are a business owner, a guideline to know what do you need to look for in the consultant that you need to hire, because every business owner needs a consultant or a few of them, depending on the different areas that you really want to focus on. Okay, so this is the whole look of what we're going to do. I always like to give you guys a one page so that you know what are we looking at, what are we talking about, and then we're going to break this down into more bite-sized pieces for you, all right? And this way, you're not just looking good on the outside. It doesn't just sound good on paper, but You want something that will actually stand the test of time. And this is the hybrid model that we're talking about. And what I want you to understand is that we are taking all the guesswork out of things for you, going to make it really simple. Everything we do is broken down into simple 4-step formulas. That's the SOAR formula. And so we're going to talk about where most people get trapped. And one of the places that a lot of people get trapped is in this sort of done for you model. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this model, and I want you to really see what's going on here and how does it apply to you. Okay, so of the different places that people could get trapped, right? This is the big problem in the space that most people are in. And there's 3 places. Number 1 is the coach model, the course model, right? Maybe you've built a course and you thought, oh, great, I'm going to build a course and it's 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have money coming in hand over fist. And maybe you've been stuck in these courses and you've been doing them and you're wondering, why is the money not coming in? Well, it's the design of that. It doesn't work. And nobody's going to have a massive transformation, which is what we're looking for, in just a couple weeks, right? It does take time. And so we're going to be architecting the right model for you, okay? So number 1 could be the course model, if you've been stuck in that. The next one is the coaching model. Maybe you've been doing the coaching, maybe you've been in a coaching program, and you show up and you do the things, but still nothing is happening. And what happens is you can also get caught in a done-for-you model. We have a lot of done-for-you models in our business, but the challenge that is with that is you could feel like you're just doing all the work, right? And then you get trapped. And the done-for-you can be a big trap, because people almost expect you to do everything. You deliver everything. You carry everything. Sure, it pays well, but you absolutely do burn out pretty quickly. So, at least you're not selling your time like in a coaching model and losing your energy. Coaching models can scale a little bit, but never enough. If you've been in the coaching space, it's really hard to get beyond the 6-figure mark. And you're wondering why am I talking about 7 figures? You can't even get to 6 figures because you're in the wrong model. Okay. And then some people think, well, maybe I'll just start a little smaller. If it's too hard, I can't sell that level. I'll just do a little course and get people in that way and start small, and then it'll scale. Well, those are so incomplete. They're fragile. They're exhausting to build. And it doesn't scale either. And so this is the problem. Why go into business if you're not going to build to scale? All right. So what I want to do is look at this hybrid model. I want you to think about this as your new solution, because it really blends these 3 power centers. Okay. And so let's take a look at how that looks. So if we look at this, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you to see. So we have a high-touch consulting transformation. And what that means is you actually have your brilliance come out, right? These are where your frameworks, your thinking, your strategic mind, those are all in there. You have high leveraged assets that can scale, and this is where your time multiplies. Now you can deliver the things, the templates, the systems, the AI tools, the workflows, the SOPs, frameworks, all of your genius, like our formulas. And then the third one is high retention stability. And you have to make sure that people stick with you, that they stay and stay for a long time. So this is where the revenue compounds. And you can really focus on the client pathways and support structures. The whole retention architecture is built here. And when you combine those 3 levels of that pyramid, right, they like stack on top of one another. Okay. Now what you're doing is you're building a business that's predictable, it's profitable, it's peaceful. Get rid of all of the stress. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Okay, so now you have a high-level overview of what's really happening here with this pyramid. And so we want to break down this architecture visually for you, okay? And look at it um, at the different levels that we have. So let's go ahead and dive into it, because remember, what is the outcome that we want is that you are thinking differently and you're building more like a systems architect and building a business that has that stability, predictability, profitability, right? No sense in building a business that you don't have the cash flow, right? Okay, so now you understand the problem, you understand the solution that we're building, and now you understand the mindset is different. So that you want to stop the delivery and start the architecting, right? Really build out a model that makes sense for everybody, not just for you. Okay. And so what this is what we call the intelligence vault. And I'm going to show you this in a few minutes. What we've done is we're taking all of these 12 weeks, we're putting it into one vault that you can access at any time. You can get in there right now, start it. We are on actually technically our third week. We had an intro. Last week we did week 1 on the math and the equations. And today we're talking about the hybrid structure that you're architecting. And then we have 10 more weeks to go. Now, you don't have to wait for it all to get it. You can get it now. And we also have some things I'm going to show you in a second that will help you ramp up faster. So if you want to have access to the vault, just type #intelligence down there or vault, or send me a DM, send me a message wherever you're watching. Let me know where you're watching too, and we will get that for you. Okay, so it's a really cool vault, and you will have the combination. So again, what we are talking about, let's really break this down for you so you understand this whole hybrid play, where what we're doing is we're architecting, right, a business model that scales. You have to really put some planning into this, right? You have to know where you're going to do. You have to be thinking about this a little bit more so that you can really build it without it falling down afterwards. And so the problem is that most people are building a structure that's designed for stagnation rather than for growth. And what happens is you hit this flat line. You ever feel that in business? You hit this flat line, you feel like you can't get beyond your ceiling. Well, that's because your model has a predetermined ceiling. And if you're in the wrong model, this is where you're going to find yourself stuck. Now, again, if you're trying to read all this, I know I give you guys a lot of material to look at and to learn. All of it is in the vault if you want to get in there, right? So what are these 3 traps of the old world that we talked about? And it's pretty obvious, right? The done for you, the coaching, and the course model, right? That's where you're going to find yourself stuck. And people have some of them, but they don't really have all of them. And so this is how you can tell an elite advisor from the rest, where they know how to deliver everything. And you want to make sure what you're always thinking about in your business is this scalable? Can I make this grow? One of the things that we do with our clients and even with our business is we look at everything that we're doing and say, yeah, we can do this for this person. Could probably do it for 10 people, but can I do it for 100? Right? And a few years ago, I had almost 100 people at once in our consulting firm that were just under me and working with me. And I almost went insane. And I didn't have enough of the structure that I'm showing you now to be able to manage it and not hate my business. I literally wanted to shut everything down and just say, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to go back and retire and live on the beach. And it wasn't the clients, it wasn't the teaching, it was that the system wasn't scalable. And I think maybe there's a lot of people going through that. I had one client who was doing $500,000 a month and her business was taking off. She had changed her whole lifestyle and she hated life. She completely self-destructed, tore everything down. She ended up just saying, I quit. She gave back, probably $250,000 in coaching fees that people had paid her and said, I don't want to do this anymore. And she literally now paints rocks. I know that sounds strange, but she literally travels and paints rocks, and that's her business. So don't do that, okay? Don't burn down your business. What you want to do is build up a model. And I only can say this all from experience, right? Again, where are we going with this? There's that paradox, okay? The access and the volume, okay? You can't go for so much volume. And if you go for volume, people aren't going to have access to you, right? They have access to you, you can easily burn out. So again, this is a fragile model that you might be building. And so this is where the hybrid model comes in. We're taking all these disparate parts and putting it into one unified whole. It's called isemplastic. And that is the model that you want to be building. So we're taking a lot of the science as well as the coaching models, and we will also make sure that we bring your brilliance in. If you're not bringing your brilliance to the game, your unique IP, your thing that makes you different, that makes you gel and shine, it's not going to last. So this is also why we're building the 7-figure year for you. This is what we do for ourselves, for our clients, but I haven't talked about it much. And so I want everyone to see, you know what, there actually is a structured mathematical way to build a 7-figure business, and it's based on simply 4 parts. And so these are the parts that you really want to look at. Let's dive into those a little bit more and figure out, how do you look at it? So the first level at the top of this, like if we build it on a pyramid, so it has that structure, is the penthouse, right? That's where you're doing your premier consulting. This is the really high stuff. This is your strategic brilliance that you're bringing to the table. And if you're not doing this, then you could easily be undercharging, okay, or overworking. So that's the first level. The next level, think of it like the elevators, okay? And this is the tools, the thing that's going to shuttle you to the top. What is that? That would be your resources, like we talked about, your frameworks, your SOPs, maybe your AI agents and apps and things that you have. We create lots of apps and tools. We even create a whole stream of customized meditations, because we know we have to get the mind right as well as the business. So it's not all just, hustle and grind. It doesn't need to be like that. Okay, so that's the second level. And then the foundational level, this is the high retention delivery. So what are you doing to make sure that people just fall in love with you and they would never leave you no matter what, right? It's sort of like if you see couples and they're together, but then you see one couple looking over there at somebody else, like, that looks good over there. You don't want that to happen in your business, where people might be with you, but they're kind of looking around, what am I going to do next? Where should I go now? And that's why I say that whole course model doesn't work. People are just intending to leave. They're just like, I'm going to hop in here and hop in here and hop in here. During the pandemic, we called those people course junkies. None of us are, of course, guilty of it. I certainly wouldn't do it. Yeah, right. But we've seen it. We might have built for that so people can come in and try something. And what happens after you finish something really short is you're not complete. You got to go to the next level and the next level. And so it's not holistic. It's not everything in one place. And think about that. If you're a business owner, you've been struggling, you can't figure out why you can't grow, and you've tried all these things. Now you're like, I don't want it. It's not what you've done, it's what you haven't done. You haven't had a model like this. And so whether it's coming to us to work with, or whether it's somebody else, this is what you need to look for. If you're a consultant, or you're wanting to be, or you flatten out, this is what you need to build. All right. So I want the message hopefully to be really clear that how you look at this, right? So if you look at this high-rise building, everybody wants to stay at the top, right? Those are the premium suites, the best view, the air is thinner. It's wonderful, okay? Nobody wants to be at the ground floor where you hear all the noise, but you need all of those different levels. And a lot of times people will have one, two, but rarely three. And people go, oh, I have this great high ticket. We always talk about high ticket. Yes, because why do you want a high ticket model? Because you deliver the best and you attract the best. That's it, right? And then you need the middle layers. That's how do you shuttle them up there? How do you get to the top? The pool's at the top, right? How do you get up there? If I'm a big F1 follower, and when F1 goes to Singapore, there's this awesome hotel in Singapore with one of those infinity pools on the roof, and people watch the race from up there. It's super cool. So, but how do you get up there? The elevators, right? How are you going to elevate your business, your clients, your people, your customers? What are the tools that you've been building out? And that's where people miss. They don't have those resources to do that. And then how do you keep them? Right? How do you keep them staying there for years and years and years? A lot of people don't even have enough content, intelligence, right? Strategic brilliance to be able to deliver new things. And I think that's one of the mistakes when you see people delivering something really short. They usually don't have the bandwidth to take you all the way. So you want to be careful for that. Sure, of course, we have some short-term courses and things like that when somebody's not at that ability yet to be really focused on scaling. Some people are just, coming up with the ideas. But when you're serious about scaling and you know you need to take your business and add 7 figures a year or more to your business, that's really where Iconic Leadership comes in to your business. And that's how we look at helping businesses and clients. So let's look at this. And we're almost done. And I'm going to show you something really cool. Okay, so hopefully you're ready. You want to ask yourself this question. It's like, where is your architecture failing? What's missing? Okay, do you have a retention engine? Right? If not, you're going to be starting at 0 every single month. And remember, you don't need to fix everything. You just need to fix the right things. That's really the key. And is it the middle? Is it the top? So ask yourself, what am I missing? What do I need to do? What is the shift that I need to make today? And stop thinking like a service provider. Stop thinking like a coach, or stop thinking like a freelancer. Start thinking like a systems architect. So your model isn't something that you fall into. It's actually something that you design. And so if you don't have a hybrid model, what you want to do is take the time right now and look at this year. How do I build this out? How do I create this in my business? And so I want to show you, again, before we go, this vault that we're talking about, right? Because all of this is really an identity shift. You're a different person. You're not like everybody else. You're setting yourself apart, creating this gap between you and the rest of the world, so you can really stand out. And what I want to show you is the vault. Okay, we're going to talk about this because, again, you want something that's elegant, that will elevate your audience. It has intelligence to it. That's what people really want in this day and age. Why is everybody absorbing all this AI stuff? We are craving intelligence, but most people's businesses and models don't have it. So the question is, do you have it? Do you actually have a model that will take you to 7 figures? And if you don't, that's what we want to come in and help you out with and make it really easy for you to learn this so you can apply it, excuse me, to your business as well. And does this sound good? Would you love to have a model? Okay, so last week what we did is we showed you this. And what this is the math, right? You have to know your numbers before you begin. Where are you starting? Where are you trying to go? All of these numbers, we talked about that last week. You need a diagnostic to figure out the truth about where you are. Not just like, oh yeah, I'll give you an example. I'm on this health thing, and I thought I ate really clean, but I never measured my food. And I was like, why am I working so hard, but nothing's really changing? And then I realized just something as simple as oatmeal. On the thing, it says 150 calories, but it's a half a cup. Well, I was putting in, I found out I'm doing like almost 2 cups of oatmeal. And I was like, no wonder my portions are so big. I didn't have a diagnostic, right? To figure out, is this the right portion? Am I doing it in the right measures? And that's what you need in your business. That's why week 1 of our 7-figure year was so important. And today we're talking about the right model. Now that you know your numbers, you have to put it in the right model. Just like Stephen Covey says, that you don't want to work so hard and find out finally that you get to the top and you're like, oh darn, I put my ladder against the wrong building. And that's what most people have done. They're not doing a model that really works. Next week we're going to talk about the premium offer paradox, because you have to have a premium model, a premium offer. You want premium clients, you want a premium business. People don't want to get third-rate stuff. They want the best. And you should deliver the best, because that's in integrity. You don't want to just get money. It won't last if you don't deliver the best. And so this is the vault, okay? And what you're getting here in the vault is you will get all 12 episodes of what we're doing. You're going to get the slide decks. If you want to look back at all of these visuals, because we put a lot of time and money, you can go back 7 years. We spend a lot of time on giving you the visuals because you need to see things, not just read a stupid Google Doc. It's not going to stick. And so we always look at, how does the brain learn? And then we'll give you the frameworks that you need to do, like our SOAR formula, the templates that you need to make it easier to accelerate all the work. We give you all the AI workflows. We're not going to hide them, right? We want you to do it. Get the basics done so we can get into the real meat of really scaling your business. There's quizzes and diagnostics to make sure that you're actually learning, that is soaking in, and that you're not going down the wrong path because you're following the wrong or the bad numbers. And we have bonus trainings. I have a 5-day results challenge in there built in, so you can start right away, start getting geared up, and start thinking like a master of your business. And of course, you will have lifetime access. Now, I'm going to try and do something here, and I'm doing this all by myself. So let's see if this works. I'm going to share what this looks like. This is not just a concept. This is not a MVP. This is designed out. This is one of the things that we're really excellent at, is building the tools and the resources that can take you from step A to step Z. You don't have to stop in between or wander around. Everything is there for you. So I'm going to try and show it to you. And I'm going to put this on the screen and see if it works. Okay, so this is where you're going to go. This is the inside of the vault, okay? So it's all built out, and you can see all of the different weeks are in here, so you'll be able to see all of those. And then for each week, we're going to have the lessons, the tools, the resources, everything else in there that you will need. So you can watch everything there if you've missed it. And let's see what else. If you need to reach me, of course, you can book a call with me, and I will help you out as well. And then the 5-day challenge, the results challenge, is in here. This is where I recommend that you start. And let's see, hopefully you can see this here. So you've got the 5-day challenge going through all of the days and the wrap up. We've got some extra bonuses in here. What else do we have? The results sheet. This is powerful. If you want just a 1-pager, we big on 1-pagers, make everything simple. The result sheet, this is like your 1-page goal sheet for the entire year. Change your world, I swear to goodness. And then again, business can be hard. So we do have our meditations in here. We custom design these. These are part of our 21-day mind mastery program. And so we have a series of meditations in here, if I can get that to show here, that you can go to, and you can listen to them on whatever different thing that you need, whether it's for calm, for gratitude, for energy, for letting go. I think there's a lot of people that really need to let go of some things, gratitude, stress relief. And those are all custom designed binaural meditations. It works really great with our 21-day mind mastery series. So yes, this whole vault has everything in there. Now, some of the weeks you're not going to see because we haven't gotten there yet. We're just on 2, but every single week that'll go in there. So if you want to come into the vault, have access to that, have access to me, and have access to everything that we are teaching, and then just go ahead and type vault down here. We'll get the information out to you. Reply to my email. If I sent you an email, check your email. And if you are getting the emails, make sure it's not going to spam. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on the extras. And this is part of week 2. Okay, we have 10 more to go. This is how you build a 7-figure year. Whether you have a business like a brick and mortar service-based business, or you're a consultant like we are, or a coach, and you're like, my business isn't like that. I want to do that. Reach out to us, watch it every week, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and wherever you're watching. We will see you next week for part 3, where we're talking about the premium offer. And until then, be iconic. Have a great week.